All right, welcome to a special episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a new movie and figure out what other movies inspired it. But today on the show, this is the Oscars episode. You know what? We're a movie podcast. It's kind of a prerequisite that we have an Oscars predictions episode. To be honest, as great of a year as 2018 was for movies, and I really do believe that. There were some great movies, and plus it was the year that we started piecing it together. This Oscar season has been somewhat of a train wreck, and I almost didn't want to do this special episode, but I just felt like we had to. And regardless, we had a great time doing it anyway. Joining me for this one is Kris Krainock, who has been on the show a bunch of times and has plenty of opinions to go along, not just on the movies we talk about, but on the Oscars themselves. So let's jump into this conversation where we go through some of the major categories, not all of them, because we just wanted to keep this a little bit brief. But we go through them and we talk about our pick, our guess, and a movie that was left out that we think should have been nominated. Let's go to it. Weren't going to do on the show, but here we are, we're doing it. I've got with us Kris Krainock to talk about the Oscars. How you doing, Kris?
I'm doing well.
Your favorite subject,
that
right?
Sounds oxymoronic that I'm here to talk about the Oscars. But yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah. We're doing this for the fans, really, is what it comes down to. Because I mean, to be honest, this Oscar season, I'm a defender of the Academy Awards. I really enjoy watching them. Mm-hmm. But this year has been kind of just, I don't know. It's a mess. It's just from the no host thing to a lot of movies that are being left off completely. Like, you know, it's just, it's not their finest moment.
No, it's gotten weirder and weirder. I've always kind of personally held a grudge against the Academy Awards because they never gave Stanley Kubrick a Best Picture or Best Director Academy Award.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of been a sore subject for me.
Sure.
But no, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's just such a political disaster and mess with a lot of money, and I also don't like rich celebrities crying and thanking God for a golden statue.
Or Harvey Weinstein.
So, exactly. So there's kind of like a deep burning hatred. But at the same time, I think that Best Picture kind of supersedes all that because usually the movie that should win does, or at least a movie with a lot of merit.
Yeah.
So I do love that, like, it will get people to see the movies.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, all my kidding and all of my jabs aside, which you're going to hear plenty of them, I'm sure.
Sure.
I do think that there is a good thing in it, a good silver lining, and that people should see these movies, and it's more exposure for these movies. Of course, if you can get into a conversation that, like, the real movies you should see didn't have enough money to even get nominated,
right?
That's a different podcast for a different time.
Sure, absolutely. So. Well, yeah, I agree with everything about that because, it does bring the movies. Like, even some of the ones that, have limited showings, if they do well on Oscar night, they're going to come back into theaters. There's going to be another chance to see these movies. I mean, it definitely gets a bigger audience.
Yeah. So, for instance, The Wife is still playing in theaters, and I saw that 4 months ago. So that shows you the power of the Oscars. Is that this movie that would have been gone in a week, especially in Las Vegas, has been playing this entire time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good in it too. It's mainly just to get these films seen.
Sure. We're not going to do every category because, I mean, quite frankly, I haven't seen any of the shorts. And
we're not doing assistant sound design?
Yeah,
what?
None of that. None of that. But we are going to do about, I think, 7 or 8 categories. And we're going to kick it off with the category you suggested, the original screenplay category.
Yeah, I think because we should, the original list you sent me didn't give any love to writers.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I was like, scores on there, Mr. Music Man.
I know. I had to include that for myself, of course.
No, but original screenplay, I thought we had to talk about it.
Sure.
So my 3, which, do you want to tell the audience our formula here?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do our what we think is going to win, what our pick would be, and then also something that wasn't nominated that we think should have been. So why don't you go ahead with the original screenplay, what you think those are.
Okay. So what I think will win is Green Book. I think that I would love if First Reformed would win.
Okay.
Although I have to say, I like Green Book quite a bit, and I would be totally fine with that winning, but I also think First Reformed is is technically a better screenplay, more original, and
Mhm.
really should be celebrated more. And then the one I wish was on there was Eighth Grade.
Nice.
I think Eighth Grade honestly deserved the nod. I think it's a brilliantly written screenplay.
Beautiful screenplay, and I mean, th- there's just so many great things about that screenplay. Not the least of which is that it's a dude who's written such a beautifully female story.
Yeah.
I mean, he really kind of just nails it.
It's really a delicate film in general. And there's with Bo Burnham, he was doing at the Writers Guild of America in Los Angeles this week actually. I'm trying to get down there, but he's kind of doing a Q&A about the writing process of that script and what it was like. Because you're right, it's a challenge, especially for what a young man to write this screenplay. It's so sensitive and delicate and has so much rich detail and very naturalistic. It's just a great script. I thought it was really impressed. Great movie, but also really well written.
Absolutely. Well, my guess and pick is First Reformed.
Okay.
I think that not only is it, unfortunately, with the Oscars, of course, we get into that whole politics thing.
Right,
I
sure.
think Paul Schrader's going to get his, career award here. You know what I mean?
You think that? Really?
Yeah, I do.
Kind of how Scorsese won for Departed, but not Raging Bull.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
I can see that. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's absolutely an awesome, it's a great
deserving script.
Totally deserving. But yeah, I do think a little bit of that is at play. Also, I think it's like the one place A24 is going to win anything this year. It's also, I think, maybe their only nominee this year, which is just insane.
For the major ones.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so I do think that's going to win, and it is my pick. And my wish it was nominated is Eighth Grade as well.
Oh, okay. So, there you go.
Yeah, I'm on board with you right there.
Exactly.
Sure.
Well, it's funny because, one of the things, and we had, you and I did a whole podcast about Green Book, so people can go back and listen to kind of what we thought about it. We want it for greater detail. But I really loved Green Book, and I was expecting not to like it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that was so good about it, I thought, was a really fresh take on this kind of trite idea. The premise is kind of simple and trite, and yet the screenplay was written very beautifully and eloquently, and it was very funny, and it took a lot of turns that you wouldn't normally take in a movie like this that could have been so formula. So I really am okay with it winning. I think it is a great screenplay. It's something that I identify with on even a personal level. But there's something about First Reformed that's so unique and so real and so beautifully written and poetic that I don't think anything holds a candle to it. And thankfully, we have the author of Green Book saying something agreeing with Trump on the internet. So hopefully that means that he'll just lose everything.
And showing his penis at parties.
Was he showing his penis?
Yes.
Oh,
which might give him a few more votes in this room.
Yeah, I could forgive the Trump thing. I mean, I know that's a lot for me to say, but the penis thing might be a bit much.
Yeah. And I'm a little torn on Green Book. I was when we recorded it. I still am, but it's still good. Though.
It's a great movie. I really love it. I mean, great is a big word. Great's a heavy word. It's not the most original or the smartest, but it's pretty original and it's pretty smart for what it is.
Sure.
And I'm a fan of that movie.
All right, let's move on to original score, which is, of course, my category as a composer. So, why don't we let you go first, though?
I was going to say, do you want us to go first on that one?
All right, yeah, you know what? I will go first.
Go ahead.
All right, how about that? All right, so my pick would be Nicholas Britell's score for If Beale Street Could Talk, which is just absolutely beautiful.
You think it's going to win?
No, that's my pick for what I would like to win. Yeah. I think what's going to win is going to be Ludwig Göransson's Black Panther score. I think a lot of people are out here thinking Black Panther is going to be a big winner.
No.
I'm not really sure that's going to happen, but I do think some of the below, the line categories it's going to win. And I think this is an area where they can easily nominate it because it is a great score. It was very beautifully done and captures that feeling and everything, but in a kind of a new way. So I did enjoy it quite a bit, that score.
Yeah. Well, this is not to be a controversial or anything, and not to sound overly cynical about the Academy Awards, but I kind of feel like the Black Panther thing, because that's not a bad movie.
Sure.
I don't particularly think it's like Best Picture material.
Right. Yeah.
Neither Bohemian Rhapsody either.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell they're doing this year. But with Black Panther, to me, it feels like a political move on their behalf. It's almost like a more subtle version of getting Chris Rock to host.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's just put something there that doesn't make us seem just like old crusty white people.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that is a little bit of that move. Not that it's a bad film, but I just don't know if it belongs where it's being cast. And I agree, actually. I think I have the exact same list as you. I think Black Panther is going to win.
Yeah.
I think mainly for political reasons, but I think it's a beautiful score.
Yeah, it's really well done.
And I actually picked If Beale Street Could Talk, if that's what I would like for it to win.
Absolutely.
And then what I wish was included.
I didn't do mine.
Oh, you didn't do that. I'm sorry. I cut you off.
I just realized that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. But yeah, no, what I wish was nominated, I actually had a lot of trouble with this because I had like at least 3 or 4 that I wish was nominated. But Lorne Balfe's score for Mission Impossible Fallout, which is my favorite version of this score ever. I love it so much.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it was great.
Yeah. I saw the movie in the theater 3 times, and every time my fingers are just tapping the whole time to the percussion. I just love it.
There's probably not a lot wrong with that movie.
Yeah.
I really liked Mission Impossible 6.
Yeah.
Bring 7 on.
Oh, 7 and 8.
And 8.
2021 and 2022.
Right, 6.
It's happening.
1,000. I don't care how many there are. I want all of it. I hope they just start slowly replacing parts of the Tom Cruise organic body with robotic parts.
I'm on board.
He's a cyborg.
What's your add-on best score?
I have 2, which are tied. The first one, which I'd like to see, would be Hereditary, because I think it was a beautiful score. I think it's a more avant-garde horror film, and so it had more freedom to give it a little bit more of an artistry that most horror films don't have the luxury to do in terms of composition. So I thought that was really good. And I'm going to throw it out there for the first time, but not the last, First Man. I thought it was a beautiful piece of music, and I love that movie, and we're going to talk about it some more, so deal with it.
I'm really happy that First Man isn't nominated. All props to Justin Hurwitz, but it would have won. Plain and simple. The best. It would have won, and I don't know why it's not nominated. It won every other fucking award. I don't know why it's not nominated. And it would have been like an open and shut case, this category, if he had been nominated.
Because I really think it's objectively the best, in my opinion.
I don't agree, but it would have won.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I think maybe If Beale Street is tied for me, because that's a really beautiful score,
it's
though,
so good.
In terms of quality. Yeah, they're both really, really good. But yeah, it's strange that they weren't nominated, and I think it should have been.
So let's move on to cinematography. What do you got there for your pick, your guess, and what wasn't nominated?
All right, so I think what's going to win, unfortunately, is The Favorite. I think that Cold War should win, and I really wish that First Man was nominated, because I think First Man was a brilliantly told story, which was predominantly told visually. And I think that that's one of the things I really appreciated about the film, is that it wasn't trying to tell us in any other way through the screenplay. It was trying to tell us through the camera. And I think that the design of that was kind of ingenious in how it was done, and the kind of first person feeling that it gave us. But yeah, so I feel like The Favorite might win, because again, I don't think it's going to take Best Original Screenplay, or it's going to take Best Director or Best Picture. But I think it kind of has a unique slant it has a lot of wide angles and stuff like that. And I don't think it's deserving. I don't think it should win, but I just have a hunch somewhere deep down that it's going to take it. And then Cold War is just probably, out of the nominees, the most elegant, beautiful film that I saw. One of the most beautiful of this year.
Cold War just opened here this weekend, and I'm hoping to go catch it. I haven't seen it yet. Well, my pick and my guess, I'm kind of surprised you didn't say it, is Alfonso Cuarón for Roma.
Yeah.
The only way I see it not winning is if the Academy tries to make a stand against Netflix or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like people have lost their minds for how beautiful it is and everything. And I mean, I liked Roma. I did not love it as much as a lot of people did, but I did like it a lot. And I think if anything I think this is the category where it's most deserving of anything. I mean, I do think it has a very good chance for a lot of the other big categories, but I think this is the one where it's the most deserving. That being said, I'm going to go totally left field here for my wish it was nominated, and that is Benjamin Loeb's work on Mandy.
Oh, okay, yeah. No,
it's just such a wild
insane
movie. Yeah, so crazy. And some of the shots, I mean, are just, aside from the visual aspect, I mean, just the way they're done. I mean, it just looks awesome from beginning to end. So much cool stuff happening. So many inventive shots and angles and things.
Yeah, well, you have a movie that kind of expressionistic and that crazy, you can get away with murder.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that's kind of a delicate thing, though, is that you don't always want to have the kitchen sink approach when it comes to your camera.
Sure.
Maybe sometimes you do. there's no real rule, there's no set of rules, or it's just like, does this work for this project?
Yeah.
And I think Mandy was so nuts that they just kind of had fun with it.
Yeah.
And definitely was unique, but I could see, I don't know if it would ever get nominated. I don't know if it has the political power, but
yeah, not a chance.
But that'd be nice.
Well, let's go on to director then. What is your picks for director?
I'm gonna have to go with Roma on this one. I think Alfonso's gonna take it, and for me, that's the same. I want him to win. I would like him to win out of that category. And the one I really wish that he would be nominated would be Brady Corbett, was the guy who did Vox Lux.
Right
so I wish he got, because for me, that movie is one of the movies that has the strongest directorial vision, I think, of the year, besides a Roma. Roma has such a strong directorial vision, but I think Brady did a phenomenal job with Vox Lux, and there's a hand behind it guiding the entire project, which for me, it could have been, it's an ambitious movie. There's a lot of creative flourish in it, and yet it all seemed right at home and right in place. And I think it takes a very strong directorial North Star to kind of pull that movie off. And that's just definitely a victim of politics. So I really wish that he was able to get a nomination.
I would have liked that as well. Yeah, it's not what I put, but I definitely would enjoy that as well. Yeah, I love Vox Lux so much. And you know what? I didn't realize that I had both of these the same, but I guess I did both guess and pick Roma, Alfonso Cuarón, for this one as well. Yeah, I agree. I think it's his to lose for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't see any way he's going to lose this. I
mean, shouldn't lose it, really. Yeah. Given the nominees, even if Corbett was nominated, I don't think anyone should win except for Alfonso.
The only person I think could possibly give him a run for his money is Spike Lee for BlacKkKlansman. Not that I necessarily think it deserves it,
like a legacy award.
Yeah, exactly. Another one of those kind of things. Yeah. And but really, I think it's Cuarón.
Yeah, I think it's in the bag for him. Yeah. I mean, Roma is an expertly directed film, a lot of control, a lot of personal elements to it. I mean, that's the thing is he wears that movie on its sleeve. Absolutely. And yet it's kind of the tip of his mastery. So it'd be a shame if he lost.
Yeah, no. Well, I have tied two directors for my which was nominated. First one is Bo Burnham for 8th Grade, which again, like we were saying earlier with the screenplay, I mean, it's just so beautifully done, and like it really gives just like a fresh coat of paint to the whole coming of age thing. And then Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born, which everybody thought was going to be nominated, and he's, this is kind of like the Ben Affleck Argo thing all over again.
Best Picture, but no Best Director.
Yeah. So, pretty surprising that he was left out. I guess Yorgos took his spot, really,
which I definitely disagree. I hate that guy. I don't hate The Favorite, but I hate everything else he's made. Besides, for the most part, there's earlier movies I like, but Lobster and Killing of a Sacred Deer are just burning trash. And I don't think he should be, even though I think that the Oscars are complete bullshit, he still shouldn't be given the honor of that dubious title.
Let the record show that I dig him. But,
yeah, I'm not speaking for David. I'm speaking for myself. But yeah, I can't believe that he's nominated for Best Director. That's kind of a laughable thing.
Pretty crazy.
I think Bradley Cooper did a good job. Yeah. I mean, for the first half of the movie anyway. I think the second half falters a little bit kind of stumbles.
That seems to be a pretty big
consensus.
Yeah, consensus is that the first half amazing, second half starts to kind of come apart. I think I like the second half too, but I could definitely see that criticism.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, it's interesting too. This is always for me like I think the outsider person doesn't really know how to articulate what a directing award is.
Sure.
Like what you win. As a director, how do you assess that looking at a movie? And I think it only takes maybe like industry people or directors to be able to see kind of what that necessarily means. Because a director should kind of blend into a project completely. I mean, they should almost be invisible.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's kind of tough for people to be like, the movie's really good. Does that mean that the directing was really good?
Right.
And most of the time, yes, but not always are those things simpatico. So it's kind of interesting because overall, I think A Star Is Born is a very good movie, and I enjoyed it. It's a good incarnation. It got a little sloppy, a little less sure-footed toward the end. But I think Bradley Cooper definitely should have been in place of Yorgos, or Favorite.
Right on. Well, let's move on to the acting categories.
Yeah.
Starting with supporting actress. What do you got?
Okay, so I think Rachel Weisz is gonna take it.
Okay.
I would love if Regina King won. That'd be my selection.
Okay.
And although I did want to mention as an honorable mention of that is I really loved Amy Adams in Vice. People kind of think that she was just kind of like kind of performance by the numbers.
Yeah.
And I've heard that before I went to go see it, and I didn't think so. I thought she was excellent, and I think she did a lot with her Lady Macbeth role. I think she did a lot with it, and it was really great. And she's pretty captivating every time you look, see her on screen.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed with her, but I think Regina King would be my number one. And then I know this is kind of here's a controversial one because it doesn't quite add up, but I think given what Vox Lux was and how I think what 3/4 of the movie didn't have Natalie Portman in it.
Right.
I think Natalie Portman could have maybe had a Best Supporting Actress nod in this role.
I think that would have been an awesome nomination.
I think so. She was great in it. As soon as she was on the screen, your eyes were glued to her. And this was already in a movie that was I was breathless throughout the entire movie.
Sure.
And then when finally she shows up, she was just a powerhouse.
Yeah.
She was excellent in the film.
Yeah, that would definitely be, I think, a controversial one, but totally earned. I mean...
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know if they would ever... there's no real, precedence for it, but yeah. I think it would be an interesting pick because she deserves it for sure.
Right on. Well, my picks were reversed.
Okay.
I have the Rachel Weisz and The Favorite as my pick, and Regina King and If Beale Street Could Talk as my guess for who's going to win.
Oh, okay.
Regina King seems to be cleaning up at all the other awards, and I think... again, it's one of those things where it's like I think this is where they award this film. Where I think it should be
performances.
Getting, I think it should be getting more attention. But I think she's kind of the place where this film gets its award. Rachel Weisz though is so good. The Favorite, I love her so much in it. And then my wish would have been Olivia Cooke in Thoroughbreds, which I think was maybe a little too small of a movie, a little too early in the year. I mean, it came out in like January or February or something. So I think it was just a little bit under the radar and forgotten, but she's so good in it. She's such a great sociopathic character.
Yeah.
I love her in this, and I can't wait to see her do more. I think she's going to have like such a career ahead of her.
Yeah.
Great,
I agree.
Great young actress. All right, so supporting actor.
Okay, this one's easy for sure. Because I think Sam Elliott's gonna get it.
Okay.
But I really want Richard E. Grant to get it.
Okay.
He's my pick for what I really desire. I think he's phenomenal. I think it's long overdue for him to get this kind of recognition. And then hands down, no question, I think Jude Law should have got the nomination for Vox Lux.
Wow, nice.
Because he was transformative, and electrifying.
I loved him in it, and you know what? I think Vox Lux is so. I didn't have him as my wish only because I didn't think of it because it's so far away. Like I just can't picture the Academy ever.
I know.
You know what I mean? So it's like it didn't even cross my mind. But yeah, Jude Law is so good in that movie.
So every moment he's in it, just his hands in his pockets, and his like weird little windbreaker, and he's just with the accent and the focus in his face and. He is. To me, he's one of those guys that is a worthy replacement for like a Daniel Day-Lewis, and
right.
Not quite as extreme. He's not like living in the woods making shoes or anything, but he actually acts.
Yeah.
Every time you see him, he's something different. In this performance in particular, I was blown away. Every time he was on screen, I thought he stole it. I think he's absolutely incredible in it. And again, I think that. I'm so happy Richard E. Grant got a nomination.
Yeah.
That's really all I care about. That's like one of the only reasons I've been really excited for the Academy Awards this year. I follow him on Instagram and I watch all of his day-to-day moments of him being super excited about his nomination.
Yeah.
So I really hope he wins. But I think this also might be the Sam Elliott's year. Because he's also been kind of an unsung hero of cinema.
Sure. Absolutely.
He was pretty good. He hammed it up a bit in A Star Is Born. But but I think he might win.
I agree. He hammed it up a little bit, but he is my pick.
Okay, for winning?
Yeah, for my pick.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm confused. But this,
I know
I'm very confused.
It does make it a little confusing. My pick, my guess, but yeah, my guess for who's gonna win is Mahershala Ali for Green Book.
You think?
Yeah, I do think so. I think the Academy,
that'd be 2 in a row.
I think,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's pulling a Tom Hanks on us.
Yeah, apparently. He's kind of on fire though.
He is on fire. He's amazing.
Yeah, and I do think that I think this is the right, like the right organization to love this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do think Green Book is going to do quite well.
it's teed up a bit.
Yeah, I do think so. My wish is very out of left field. Okay, so prepare yourself.
I'm prepared.
All right. Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible Fallout, which is, I know, a very weird pick, but he's such a character. I mean, he's such a memorable character.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I'm going to remember this character for a long time. I think he's just...
With a double agent type? Triple agent?
Not so much the story, it's more the performance. It's
okay.
It's
his
more
mustache.
Just him, his mustache, his presence on screen.
His body.
His body.
Obviously.
His reloading his arms in the bathroom fight. I mean, it's just a character that I think is going to stick with me a long time, and that's why I'm picking it as something I wish. It's, of course, a very, very, like,
fun.
way out of...
That's why it's a wish.
Yeah, it's a wish. But
I don't think it's any more ridiculous than wanting Jude Law, because no one gives a shit about Voxlux.
I know, it's crazy.
It actually has I looked it up today, it has a green splat on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that's crazy.
People hate it.
That's crazy. I know, it is. It's a very, very just love or hate movie. Like, I don't think anybody's in the middle on it.
It's so good, though.
We got an episode coming up on it in March. It's already been in the can. And the guy I did it with, Josh Bell, he hated it. I loved it, though. So it's an interesting episode. So.
I don't know Josh Bell, but fuck Josh Bell. I don't know him, but he's wrong. I'm kidding. Josh, if you're listening, I'm kidding. I'm just messing around.
Well, Josh didn't want to do an Oscars episode, so thank you for being
here.
Okay.
I'm filling in for Josh Bell. He gets the last laugh.
You get stuck with the Oscars.
Okay, fine.
You got Voxlux, you get the Oscars.
I can just go see Voxlux, make up your own mind. It's brilliant. Josh is wrong.
So let's go on to actress. What do you got?
Okay. Let's see what I got here. I got so I think Gaga's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but she was great.
Yeah.
She was excellent. I was blown away by Gaga, and I think she's gonna win. I really think that Glenn Close should win.
Mm-hmm.
I think her performance in The Wife was absolutely brilliant. I wish she would win. And I really think, and I have a tie for my wish, which is Elsie Fisher. Elsie, right? From that's how it's pronounced. From 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely think that Toni Collette could have actually taken it because, again, elevate. I think that they kind of relegated this horror movie to middle of the year, summer type of movie. We're going to be forgetting it by the time it's award season. And it wasn't a perfect film. I didn't particularly love Hereditary all the way in as a film, but I think atmosphere wise and performance wise. Was excellent, and Toni Collette was also really captivating.
Yeah,
and she gave a great performance from like her bones, like from the marrow of her bones. She performed that role.
She's so good.
So I think she's great just in general. So I think she should get more recognition. Those two are on my wish list.
Right on. Well, my guess of what's going to win is actually Glenn Close in The Wife. And my pick would be Lady Gaga.
Oh man, we're reversed.
Yeah, reversing it up.
We didn't plan this to make it more interesting. We
absolutely.
promise.
But it's what I think. And
hopefully you're right, because Glenn Close should win.
I think she will. And Toni Collette should be the winner. I think Toni Collette in Hereditary is the performance of the fucking year. I mean, she's so freaking good in it.
She did her own crawling.
Yes.
She did her own head turning.
Yes, I know she did.
She actually changed
got a bag of tricks.
Her body chemistry for this role.
You know, I've ranted about this in our Piecing It Together Facebook group and on Twitter and stuff, but you know, there's this weird thing this year. I don't know why they did this, but A24 just refused to put any money into any kind of campaigning for any of their movies, really. It's like kind of a miracle that First Reformed even has that screenplay nomination.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there is a whole game to be played, and they just said, we're not spending any money this year for whatever reason.
Yeah, maybe they're telling the Oscars to suck it.
Yeah, apparently.
Which they should. The thing is, everyone should.
Yeah.
And then we won't have to do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to thank God for working 6 weeks out of the year and getting paid $30 million. You want to thank God for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Ridiculous. But also, I didn't write Elsie Fisher down, but she would also be a great one.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know if she would win, but she should be nominated.
She should be. That would be great.
I mean, if we had, what's her name? Ryan O'Neal's kid from Paper Moon get it. Who was excellent, but I'm just saying, you know.
No.
Have Elsie Fisher.
So what do you got for actor?
Actor, I have So I think, unfortunately,
Okay.
fucking Freddie Mercury's gonna win.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know, because he was turning on that lamp so convincingly when he was lonely. That piece of fucking shit trash movie. And I really want Bale to win. I think Christian Bale did a superb job as Dick Cheney. Somehow was able to make him not a cartoon character,
Right.
Batman from. I think somehow he did an excellent job of making him human, making him empathetic and or sympathetic, and us being empathetic. Just a really stunning performance. And then I really wish that I got another tie here, but I wish that Rupert Everett for The Happy Prince, his performance as Oscar Wilde was nominated, because it was like a 20-year process to get this film made, and Rupert Everett put his heart, soul, blood, bone marrow into it, and it's a great performance. And then I know everyone's gonna hate me for this, but guess what? Don't care. Ragaz. I think Ragaz, he's my wish. He should have got nominated, because he has this whole thing going on right now, which is the anti-acting acting. He's not acting. He's standing very quietly, and it's working. Okay? It's working, man. I love it. He was a brilliant Neil Armstrong. That movie is incredible, and he's compelling to watch in his methodical nature. I think I don't know if anybody knows anything about Neil Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
I know a little bit about him, and I feel like he brought that whole, because he was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
In real life, Neil Armstrong, not a great guy.
Right.
And there's something about the intensity of Ragaz in that movie, and all the acting was right in his eyes, and I feel like I had like a window right into his brain.
Right.
And he was just this very complicated, quiet, reserved man, and I think it's being overlooked because that's what the role called for.
Right.
And yet Ragaz was a chameleon in it.
I do, as much as I didn't love First Man, I do agree that it's a difficult movie, because of the fact that character is just not someone you really want to watch.
Yeah, I do though.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe it's because I love that story, and I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm captivated by that performance in that film.
Right. Right on. Well, my guess for what's going to win is Christian Bale.
Okay.
In Vice. I do think that he's going to get this. I do think you're right though that Bohemian Rhapsody could take it.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, fucking ridiculous. But my pick would be Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born.
Okay.
Definitely doing a bit of a character, but it's a very entertaining character.
Yeah.
He also freaking is awesome as a performer and all the music scenes. I mean, and he really did all that.
Is there no end to his talent?
That's crazy.
He's Rocket Raccoon.
And he looks good. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous.
My favorite part in that film is when he tells Lady Gaga that her music sucks and she's ugly. I was like, this is the best moment of this movie. He should win an award just for this. He's like, your songs are stupid, and I think you're ugly. And I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Let's see how far we can get the
I
audience.
mean, she's not ugly; she's beautiful. But just that he was like pissed off.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I love it. I think he was great. He kind of had like this like Townes Van Zandt thing going on.
Yeah.
But I think you're right though. It really walked the line of not being too charactery.
Yeah.
Because at first I was kind of like, I had a really weird emotional reaction to his performance right away. One, I was like blown away by his musical talent, and I was like, man, this guy can do everything.
Right.
He could like vomit in Wedding Crashers. He could voice a raccoon, and he could also be like a masterful filmmaker.
Yeah.
So he's a really excellent guy. And but then I was like, oh, but I don't like that he's like playing this like cowboyish character. And then I quickly forgot that criticism and just got really into it and liked it.
Right.
So it just kind of went through these levels of like loved it, didn't like it, loved it, and I thought he was great throughout the movie. So I get it.
Absolutely. My wish is, of course, Ethan Hawke in First Reformed.
Oh, I know.
Which, I mean...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, along with Toni Collette. I mean, the both of them should be the winners this year, and neither of them are
what am I thinking?
nominated because of A24.
Go against everything I said. I want Ethan Hawke.
Thanks for agreeing with me on that one.
100%. He's so good in that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, even when he's flying over the hilltops,
yeah.
I was like, I buy all this.
Every second.
Every moment.
Every second of him.
He's such a great actor. And I know that's, I guess we all kind of acknowledge that, but there's something almost like unspoken about how good he is.
It's true.
It's kind of, he lives in a weird parallel to where like we all know he's great and we all like him, but yet no one really talks about him that much. And then every year he comes out, or every other year he comes out with this great performance. And this one was the best one yet.
I feel like a lot of actors could say, I don't really give a shit about the Oscars anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like Ethan Hawke would mean it. Like, I don't think
No,
he would
he's
give-
painting something with his bare feet right now.
Yeah,
He doesn't give two
exactly.
shits.
Doesn't give two shits whatsoever.
No, absolutely not.
All right, we're on to Best Picture. What do you
Okay,
got?
okay. This is moving fast.
Yeah, I know.
So Best Picture, I think, and again, this is out of the nominees. I think Green Book's going to win.
Okay.
And I want Green Book to win out of the nominees.
Okay.
And I think that blows my mind that it doesn't have a nomination is First Man.
Okay.
Get Black Panther out of there. Put First Man in there. Well, first of all, what am I saying? Get Bohemian Rhapsody out of there.
Right.
I would take how many? There are 10 nominees, right?
Yeah.
I'd take 9 Black Panthers over one Bohemian
Just
Rhapsody.
every Marvel and DC movie that came out this year.
I would put Ant-Man and fucking Wasp, which I loved.
Hey, I loved
what's
Ant-Man
a
and
worse
Wasp.
one? Pick a bad one. And I would put that in front of Bohemian Rhapsody. The worst movie of this year, the worst movie of 2018 was that travesty.
And it has a real chance of winning.
It has
By the
a
way,
real chance.
I don't want to put you in a bad mood.
I don't
here,
know. I
but-
think this is who gives a shit about the Oscars? It's all
Yeah.
crap anyway. I would totally believe that it's going to win Best
Yeah.
Picture. That's the thing. If it does,
Yeah.
then the world is truly corrupt. We should all give up hope. It's so bad.
Oh man.
Anyway, so yeah, I want First Man. First Man should. When I saw First Man, I thought this is a Best Picture nominee.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was gonna win, but it's a nominee.
As much as I didn't love it, I am very surprised it's not nominated. It definitely deserves to be in the conversation. You know.
Yeah.
It's.
We should talk about it one day. Why you don't like it?
Yeah.
I don't
think I'd
get
have to
the-
watch it again and like
I don't-
really.
yeah.
Yeah. It just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me.
Maybe
but-
it's interesting. It really
Yeah.
trips my trigger, and maybe I'm the crazy one. I know. Even though like I'm the only person that thinks Bohemian Rhapsody is as bad as it is, I don't think I'm wrong. I think
Yeah.
the world is wrong.
Yeah.
But when it comes to First Man, maybe I'm wrong. I'll totally accept that maybe I'm just somehow enamored with it and it doesn't deserve it. But I do not get the love for Bohemian
It's
Rhapsody.
funny on Twitter. The two movies that people love and I just don't get are Widows, which we both hated,
yeah.
and
Ugh.
First Man. Those two movies together are like where I separate from everyone else on film.
So
Twitter.
people like First Man.
Oh yeah, people love it.
Because,
Yeah.
because the thing is, I've been getting that no one likes it.
No, they do.
Just
They
my
do.
circle, maybe. People
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that don't, but I mean, it's definitely pretty beloved. I think.
Wow, I didn't. Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's nice.
You're not
to hear.
alone. You're not alone.
Good.
I promise you're not alone. Chris.
Okay, good. I am alone in the hatred of Bohemian Rhapsody, and I will wear that proudly.
You're alone in a sea of people who just don't have any taste. Really, what it comes down
The thing
to
is,
it.
like, here's my thing. I'm just gonna make a quick comment about this.
Uh-huh.
I really wish that movie was better
Yeah.
for the fans' sake.
Right.
I don't like getting up here and talking about how terrible it was. I wish it was great
Yeah.
because Queen. Wow, I can't talk anymore. I'm so angry about this movie. Fans of Queen.
He's turning red right
I'm
now.
beet red. Fans of Queen deserved a better movie.
Right.
I deserved a better. We all deserved a better movie. It was the
Yeah.
laziest. Like, and the thing is, maybe it's because I saw Dewey Cox, and it ruins all musical biopics for me now. Because it was,
True.
it's like 3 people in a room watch a Dewey Cox and then wrote scenes in a first draft,
Exactly.
and then gave it to one of the biggest monsters of Hollywood to make it into an overproduced.
It's the only reason it might not win is because
how hated
because
Bryan
of
Singer is?
Yeah.
God, I hate Bryan Singer.
And that's the only reason that's the only reason why Green Book is gonna win. That's my guess. Of
No,
what's
I'm
gonna
sorry I
win.
keep talking through your lists.
Oh no, you're not talking to
Okay.
us. You're
You
good.
sure?
Yeah, no,
right.
absolutely. Yeah, I think Green Book's gonna win. I don't want it to win, but
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's pretty good.
It's good.
It's better than First Man.
That's tough. I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, but no, I just I don't know. I'm so torn on that movie. I was when we did the episode, and I still just I don't know. It's just so
Good?
Yeah, so
It's conventional.
it is. It's very.
That's the
conventional.
problem. That's for me. That's my biggest problem with it is that it's conventional. But it's just a good movie. Like every time I'm on this podcast with you, I always say that I constantly break my own rules.
Mhm.
I have these arbitrary things that make a good movie, and they never are the same again and again. Making a good movie is some kind of magical circumstance that happens. You just have these. You have these performances, you have the script, you have this direction, you have all this different stuff, and sometimes it just comes together and sometimes it doesn't. And you could make a movie on paper that sounds terrible and have it be great.
Yeah.
And you can have the movie on paper that sounds great and have it be terrible.
Yeah.
And there's just no rhyme or reason. So I look at films just like paintings. And I look at a painting and I either connect to it or I don't. And sometimes I look at a film and I go, this is a good movie or it's not. And Green Book, despite all of its flaws, despite how on paper I think it would be trash, it's just a good movie. It works for me. I connect to it emotionally. I think it was not nearly as lazy as it could have been. And there's something kind of sweet about it, but not in a kind of a disgusting like toothpaste commercial way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my argument for it. It just works.
All right. I
give in.
It's good.
Accept it.
It's good.
Accept that it's good.
It's good.
Anyone that says it's not good, I think they just set out not to like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it is. Is it Best Picture? Was Shape of Water Best Picture material?
No. Mm-mm.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like when she masturbates. I like a lot of stuff, but also when she masturbates.
Right, I agree.
Best Picture? I don't know. So
yeah,
there you go. That's the Oscars for you.
My pick.
Buy your win is essentially it.
There you go. My pick out of these nominees would be A Star Is Born. I really enjoyed it. It's also like one of my favorite albums of the year. I think the music in it is just fantastic.
Yeah, so good.
It's just such an enjoyable movie. I mean, it's a movie I could totally see rewatching, whereas a lot of these other movies, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Definitely A Star Is Born. It's certainly not my favorite movie of the year, but of these picks, it definitely is. A movie that I wish was nominated is Eighth Grade. Brought it up a bunch of times on this episode. Yeah. I really realized as I was going through and making this list, damn, I really did love Eighth Grade. What a great movie.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful movie, and we just rewatched it like a couple weeks ago. Gina hadn't seen it yet, and I was just bawling my eyes out. And I don't even like kids, you know?
Yeah, no, yeah. They're like, horrible.
Yeah, and it still just got me, you know? Yeah, it's so good.
Kind of inexplicably. It's a great... It's because you added that you think Bo Burnham should be on Best Director. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because I don't know if it's really his direction. I think it's more his writing and that performance.
That's a good point. Yeah, because it is just an amazing screenplay.
That
and
screenplay
a performance.
Just shines.
Yeah, the dad too. Great performance there as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. What's funny too is we're kind of getting in like, so I'll make one last little note about First Man, which I think is worth mentioning. And kind of in with Eighth Grade kind of teeing it up. There's a couple different types of movies out there where we're becoming really obsessed with the writing and the screenplays.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I kind of force you to mention original screenplays, so I'm guilty of it too. But as a filmmaker and as someone who identifies as a writer and who started as a writer, it's been a long journey to really try to understand how to communicate visually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the reasons why I'm so taken with First Man is that it truly makes an attempt to be cinematic. And when I think about Eighth Grade, I don't necessarily think of the word cinematic. I think of the writing and I think of the performance and all of those things. Right. Cinematic is a vague, subjective term. This is just for me personally. But when I think of First Man, I think it's probably the most cinematic movie that I saw this year. When I think about Green Book, for instance, it's the writing, it's the performances. Yes, there's a camera there. Right. And yes, it's capturing these things. But did it really tell its story through its camera? And, the answer for most movies in general, not just this year, is no. Mm-hmm. So it's, I think Eighth Grade is a superb screenplay. It might even be Best Picture. I mean, like Annie Hall had nothing to do with its camera, for instance, and it won Best Picture. So again, there's no rhyme or reason, but Eighth Grade's a written masterpiece, and I think First Man, I don't know if it's quite a masterpiece, but First Man really makes an effort to give us a cinematic story.
As far as being cinematic, I would agree with that about First Man.
Yeah.
That's one place where it definitely shines. I also think A Star Is Born kind of fits that bill as well.
I agree.
It's total Hollywood, total film, totally. Yeah,
but it's actually beautiful. Done visually.
Yeah,
and it's the thing it's funny. I was really hesitant to be overly critical of A Star Is Born because it's like his first movie, so I was trying to pull punches.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 30 minutes, I was really exhilarated. I thought I was like, wow, this is really good. Even when they had the live music, and then every now and again there'd be a shot that was like composed like shit. And I was just like, oh, that is ugly. But it's okay, man. It's okay. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Hang tight. You're doing awesome. And I ended up ultimately really liking the movie. But yeah, there's But it was a movie, I think, that attempted to tell its story mainly visually.
Yeah.
And musically.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
obviously such a big part musically, and you know, film is a lot like music, and that there's kind of this progression of atmosphere and tonal things, and you know, and so that's, yeah, I agree with you. I think Star is Born is definitely one of the most cinematic.
Sure, absolutely. So that brings us to the end. Do you want to is there anything else you want to chat about as far as the Oscars are concerned? Any other?
Stop watching them. Stop giving a shit. Winning doesn't mean they're good. It's all bullshit.
Yes.
You have to pay for your nominations. You have to pay $200,000 to even be nominated for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big jerk off. Go see the movies anyway.
Yes.
And they're also still old crusty white guys no matter what.
It's true. Old crusty white guys love Green Book, which is why it's gonna win.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I know. I feel like I'm an old crusty white guy, but it's good. I can't help it.
No.
At least for me, like one of those things. For me, the Green Book's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, at least it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I really liked Shape of Water, but I was kind of shocked that it won. And the thing is, I don't really keep up with the Academy Awards. So I think even you told me last year, I think you were the one who told me I think Shape of Water is going to win. Because I think you're a little bit more clued in to like what is going on from the political end of things.
Right.
I try to basically just ignore the Academy Awards in all ways, shape, and form. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Green Book has the support, it has the backing that it needs to win.
Yeah.
And it's like the favorite to win. And it won Best Comedy or Musical for Golden Globes, right? It already won that.
I think so. I think it had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like if Bohemian Rhapsody wins with a Mike Myers fourth wall break and it wins Best Picture, I kind of hope it does so I could be like, see? Are you going to tune in next year?
Oh my God. I mean, at least they'd finally have their popular film that they wanted so badly this year because the mainstream masses seem to love that movie.
Right. I know. And they talked about shortening it because they don't want to give or what. No one wants to watch the technical people get their awards.
Which is such bullshit.
Which is so tragic. These are the people that actually make the movie.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes directors can show up shit-faced drunk and do nothing.
Yeah.
And the movie will happen around them.
Yeah.
And it's because of all these extremely talented people. You know, not a very good movie usually, but
supposedly, they were only going to do 2 of the songs. Obviously, Lady Gaga, and then the song from Black Panther. And I guess Lady Gaga supposedly went to them and said, "No, everybody's got to perform." So the compromise they came to is they're going to perform 90 seconds of each song.
What?
Yeah, which is like, what are they doing? No host, cutting out a bunch of categories, 90 seconds of each song. It's like, what the
This
hell?
is a train wreck.
Yeah,
what happened to
doing?
Billy Crystal? Can we get Billy Crystal back? Let's get him to do this again.
Nobody wants to. Everybody's just like, please no. Please leave me out of this shit.
I know. No one wants to do it. Yes, there is really no host, huh?
Yeah, no host.
That is weird.
It's freaking bizarre.
Oh, it only took 91 years for all the wheels to totally fall off. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. When Billy Crystal's passing you up, you got problems.
No, yeah.
You know they put a call into his publicist.
Yeah.
And they just didn't even return the call.
So, Kris, you got anything you want to plug or recommend or anything? Wrap this thing up?
No.
No?
I'm working on stuff. Nothing different. I'm still working on my movie, still working on the television show. So things are going really well, but I have nothing really new to report on those, fronts. Just keep posted on my social media and stuff like that for updates and details. And the biggest thing is, I guess, really all kidding aside, all of my nastiness about the Oscars, the good thing is that these movies are getting recognized. Go see these movies. Go seek them out. It's getting harder and harder to see good films in Vegas because they don't last very long in theaters. So try to take advantage of learning about movies through the nominations and go out there and see movies and make up your own mind. And, don't listen to us about what's good and what's bad.
Right.
I just like to yell and scream, but go like whatever you like. And hopefully you enjoy more than you don't enjoy. And there's still a lot of great films being made. And so we're lucky just to be able to see them and watch these movies. That's
what podcasts are for, is yelling and screaming at a mic.
Exactly. I really feel it's important for you to know how much I hate things.
Especially Bohemian Rhapsody.
I hate it so much, guys. The end. I'm out.
Hi,
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Kris Krainock, getting into the nominees for the 91st Annual Academy Awards. It's going to be a weird show this year. No host, all the weird things with the music performances. And there's just, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's going to be the Oscars' finest moment, but I'm going to be watching anyway because I love movies and I can't help myself. So we'll see what happens with these predictions. We'll see if we're right. I don't know if we'll do a post-Oscar wrap-up special episode or not. We'll see. We got a lot of episodes in the pipeline that I would rather just kind of get to be honest. There's a lot of new movies coming out. And we also have a couple episodes that we already have in the can that I'm looking forward to posting now that they're starting to hit VOD. So I really want to get to some of these other movies. So I'm really looking forward to the future of the show. So with that said, you should be subscribed to Piecing It Together on your podcast app of choice. You could also rate and review us on iTunes. 5 stars would be amazing. You can follow us on social media at PiecingPod. Check out our website, piecingpod.com. And join our Facebook group, Piecing It Together, a movie discussion group. That will do it for today. I'm going to leave you guys with a piece of my music. And what should I leave you guys with? I think I'm going to leave you with a song called Dreams Like These from my album An Unseen Sky. Hope you dig it, and we will be back with another episode on Friday.
and all points west.